I'm going to show you how to remove the cutting blade from this Brother Serger Lock 1034DX. And after we remove the blade, we're going to attach it again and sew a test strip. I'm going to get started in a few minutes. We're going to give others a chance to join. And I'm also going to show you how to remove the stitched finger when you want to do a rolled hem. The Brother Lock 1034DX. I do not have the cutting knife engaged. That is the blade that cuts your fabric when you're using the overlock stitch or the rolled hem. I'm going to demonstrate and show you how. I hope you can see it. This is an overlock stitch because the stitch finger is engaged. See how it's not cutting? That is the result of when I disengage the cutting knife. Now, you can do this one of two ways. You can not trim it, and you see how the edges are not even or precise. This is a trimmed end, and this is the end that was not trimmed. You see how the fabric, how the thread grasped the fabric. And bunched it up. It's not too bad on a thin piece of cloth or material, but let me show you how it is when the edges are noticeably ragged. Watch this. To avoid gaps in your stitching, you always want to hold the fabric to the edge, right here. See the edge right here. In order to not have any gaps in your fabric. Now, it bunched up the raggedy edges. I'm going to show you how unsightly that looks. Okay. See how that looks? You see how bunched up that is? Like I said earlier, on a thin piece of fabric, you can't really tell. See how thin that is and how bunched up that is? So it's best just to trim your fabric as neatly as you can before you start the overlock stitch without the cutting blade engaged. Now, I'm going to engage the cutting blade. It seems a little dark in here. Let me see. I hope you can see. You see this lever right here? That gray lever? Pull it out. And since it's not engaged, you want to pull it out and pull it upward. Now the blade is engaged. That's the cutting blade right there. Now we're going to notice that material is going to be cut as I sew. See that? Now I thought disengaging the blade would be hard. I thought I was going to have to actually pull it out and place it to the side or place it in here. But it's as simple as grabbing the lever, pulling the blade out and under to disengage it. And see the thread came apart. This is the chance for me to show you how to thread. So when a thread comes apart on a serger, your best bet is just to start all over. And it's not as hard as it seems. I hope you can see. It seems so dark in here. Okay. And if you can't see this well, I did do another video a few weeks ago on how to rethread your serger. So I would take just the first two or last two, however you want to look at it, out because the needle is already in there. The needle is the easiest part to thread. We always want to start with the last spool of thread, which is the fourth one, first. So this is blue. Follow the arrow, the blue arrow. Put it under 5. Put it under the 6 and 7. Right here, 6, 7. Under both blues. Put it under that little handy dandy hook. Well, if I can get it in there. And pull it over 8. And this is the trickiest needle to thread because you have to pull that over and you want to thread that one. You want to thread the longest needle pointing to the right. And when you thread the needle, just lay all the pieces of thread to the back like that. So the second one, which is the third one from the left, follows the green arrow, put it in the green number 5, put it in the green number 6 only, because you only see a green dot right there, and pull it over 7. Then you want to thread it in that needle right there, the one that's pointing to the left. And these tweezers come in handy. Pull all the thread back. Make sure. Oh, that's the needle. Make sure they're all pointing to the back. And you'll end up cutting a lot of thread off to get the thread tight. Okay. Now, let's see if that works. I did disengage the the knife. And it did work. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to do a rolled hem. You have to pull up the needle all the way so you won't break the needles or destroy your fabric. Okay. Now, in order to do a rolled hem, I hope you can see in here, you have to remove the stitch finger. And that's the finger right here. Right there. So what you want to do is just grab it and pull it. And it's always a place for you to put your instruments on the sewing machine so you won't lose them. Okay. Now we're going to take this piece of cloth, put it under here for a rolled hem. Now I mostly use 3 spools of thread. I hardly use the first needle because I find that using the last 3, see, sometimes it doesn't stay. I find that using the last 3 is strong enough for what I sew. Now, sometimes I do use this this fourth spool and thread it into the first needle when I need more gathering and strength of certain garments I sew. So now we're going to do a rolled hem. And always put your garment at the very edge of the silver plate. I'm going to show you what happens if you don't. I noticed this came off the other day, but I can't get it back on. I can't get it on back on enough to stay. I might be doing it backwards, but so rolled hem. See that? And if you want the hem tighter, you can tighten up your tension. Now, let me show you what happens if you don't have the thread at the end of the plate. See how loose it is? You have some loose thread sticking out, and you even have a gap right there. Right there. And you have to go back over and correct it or hand sew it so that it won't come unraveled anymore. See, as wear and tear would tear this stitch out right away. So that's why you should always make sure that your fabric is at the edge or even further. Do you have any questions? Thank you all for joining. If you can't see this video clearly, I have a video I did a few weeks ago touching on the same such subject, and I was able to move the camera closer to the subject I was showing you. Let's see if I have any questions. What is that? Canvas? I'm sorry. Oh, somebody answered it's a sewing machine. Thank you, Cameron. They said my live stream was the best. I like your live streams. Hi, I love you too. You're so sweet. Let me see if I have any messages on a search tutorial. How does okay? Anybody have any requests or questions? We're going to show you again because I know some of you missed it. I'm going to do the tutorial all over again, okay? If you want to be in my fan club, TikTok, give me some hearts. If you like what I'm showing you, give me some hearts. Follow me. Hi, Rashid. Thanks for joining. Hi, Jeff Bean. Thanks for joining. Okay, I'm going to show you this all over again. First, I'm going to open my curtains to get a little more light in here. Just a minute. Okay, I hope that's better. Okay. Oh, I have to show you how to put this stitched finger back in. When you are finished with the rolled hem, you just insert the stitch finger in like this. Exactly the way you took it out. Make sure this part goes over that little bump right here. Put it in the way you took it out. Now it's engaged. Now you can do an overlock stitch again. And let's practice. Well, let's do a test. Let's test strip. Overlock stitch. And it's working. Now, I'm going to show you how to engage the knife blade so when you do overlock, the machine will seamlessly cut the fabric for you. Now, right now, the knife was disengaged. So, to engage or disengage the knife, this little gray lever on the Brother 1034DX serger right here. Pull it out and over. Turn it up to engage the knife. Now watch as the machine cuts the thread as I sew. Okay, this is the thread it just cut. The material just cut. Now, to disengage the knife, pull the gray lever out and under. And I will demonstrate how it will not cut any thread off. I keep interchanging these words. It will not cut any material off with the knife disengaged. Always keep your material at the edge of the plate or further to avoid any gaps. The knife is off. The knife is on. Okay. And to do a rolled hem, you have to disengage the stitch finger. This is a stitch finger. Just pull it out. And place it in your case so you won't lose it. And I'm going to demonstrate a rolled hem. Like I said earlier, if you want your material to be tighter, you have to tighten up the tension. And the tension is up here. This is the rolled hem. And the knife is on. I'm going to cut the knife off so we won't cut any extra material from our garment. Pull it out and down. See? And I'm going to demonstrate what happens if you don't have your thread all the way at the edge of the plate again. You're going to get gaps. And if you have your knife engaged, it most likely will mess up your project. You will have to trim your project and it might not fit your client. Sometimes I sew wobbly and I'm not paying attention and it ends up like this. See that gap? That gap means it didn't catch on to your material and eventually it will just ruin your material from all the tension, wear and tear. So you have to go back and do it over. But I suggest turning off the knife and doing it over because I've had many times before I discovered you can turn off the knife where I had to trim my garment so much and I almost messed up my project. So with the knife off, you just go over it again and be sure to start from the connected thread because you want to keep it tight and you don't want it to unravel. We almost got it. Let's do it again. This is why you want to do it right the first time. Okay, we got it this time. But see how uneven that looks? Now we're going to do it again with the knife engaged, and you're going to see how it's easy to mess up your project if you don't have the fabric all the way to the edge of the plate. Okay. We're going to engage the knife again. This is the Brother 1034DX serger by pulling it out and up. Now, we're going to sew while the material is at the edge of the plate at first. Then for halfway, we're not going to do it. I just want to show you how easy it is to mess up your garment. Well, yeah. See how it's cutting? Now, I'm going to move it away from the edge of the plate to get a gap on purpose. Well, let me do it again because it didn't create a gap. I think I did it too late. Okay, so sewing, 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 sewing. I'm not paying attention. I'm moving my fabric over to here, over this way, over this way. Oh, I'm paying attention again, so I'll move my fabric to the edge of the plate. Then I realized, oh my goodness, I might have messed up. See the gap? And this is what the knife engaged. So I'm going to try to correct it with the knife. And watch how so much material is getting cut off. See how all this thread is tangled up? Okay. Hopefully. Okay. So I'm going to try to correct this with the knife engaged. See how puckered it is? Puckered up it is. Okay. We want to start where the thread is engaged on the material. Right here. So we can have a connection. Now I'm going to try to correct that. See how I try to correct it with the knife engaged? You see that pucker? If you're making a garment for a customer, you don't want that pucker, especially if it's on the shell of the garment. Now, if it's in the lining, that's all right. You want to try to avoid any puckers when you're making a custom outfit or when you're making ready to wear clothes. And that's it for my tutorial. Let me see if I have any questions. Thank you all for joining. Mohammed, Hannah, Meg, Booger, hi Booger, Oreo, Sansan. Can I get some hearts if you like this live stream? Bravia or likes. Angela Thorpe. Dog Love, Jules, Mike, Blondie, Jeff Beeman. Thank you all for joining. I don't see any questions. Oh, thank you for the 7 hearts. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to show you how to thread this serger one more time before I end my live. Because when I first got this serger, it sat for 4 months before I touched it. I was like, I know I'm going to be frustrated because I was always intimidated by a serger. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you so much. So, my son sews also. And I asked him, is the surgery really that difficult? He said, no, Mom, no, it's easy. So, and he has a professional surgery. I mean, one of those big professional machines that is hard to move, like, old time, old fashioned singer. So I was like, okay. I opened it up. I was like, oh, it has directions and has arrows. This should be easy. But it took me maybe 10 tries and watch a couple YouTube videos to show me how to do it. And I sold my first project with a serger after all these years using a basic sewing machine. Brother, I love Brother. That lasts me more than 20 years. Like, I got my first sewing machine in 1988 at a Walmart in Clarksville, Tennessee, bored to death, and then taught myself how to sew. So I had that machine for 10 years before I gave it away because I was a young mother. I was like, I don't have time. So I got this probably in 2004, 5, when I first opened my my eBay store. Not this one, but my Simple Brother machine. And I've had that ever since. That that is my go-to machine. That is my bestie. It's easy. You don't have to worry about computers messing up, this one. But the only thing that it doesn't have is the automatic buttonhole maker. You can make buttonholes, but you have to, do some adjustments on the on the machine. But I'll show you how to use that in my next live. It's so simple and I love it. But in order to make good quality lasting clothes, you need a serger, or you can do the zigzag stitch on the Simple Brother machine. Okay. So in order to, most of the time, have your serger work the first time when you thread it, you have to start at the very beginning. And at the very beginning on this machine is the 4th thread spool. And I'm even going to unhook my straight needle to show you. Okay. See that? Take your spool and bring it through the back hole, that back opening. Put it in front of this slit. And then you bring it into this opening right here. That's the first spool you want to thread, the very last one. You put the first or the last spool. You follow the arrows. I know most older machines, industrial machines, probably most likely won't have the arrows, but you follow the color scheme. Put the blue arrow in the first 5. Bring it up under 6 and 7 because this has a blue dot on both. And then bring it up under the hook and bring it over 8. And this is the most difficult needle to thread or to get to because sometimes you have to push number 9 over to get the needle to poke out like that. It's the needle pointing to the right. And if you want to thread your needle without difficulty, you cut it. Always have a clean piece of thread when you thread your needle, no matter what needle you're threading. On a machine, a hand sew needle. Oh, where's my tweezers? And these tweezers come in handy. It allows you to grab the thread and always push all the threads to the back. Okay, that's the first one. Knitting the last one. Now we want to do the other one, the same thing. The same way. Get it through the back opening, over the slit, and into this opening on top of the machine. Now we want to follow the green arrow under number 5. And this time, we're only going to thread under 6 because there's one green dot on the 6. There's no green dot on the 7. Pull it up and over 7. Cut the thread to give a sharp point. And we're going to do it in this one. We always lay all the threads to the back. Same thing with the third one or the second one to the right, to the left. Take it through the back opening, put it over the hook, take it through here, down. Now this can be tricky too because this is pink 4. You want to take it over and you want to follow the pink arrow. See, before I was threading in the first opening, but you want it to thread it in the pink opening closest to the machine. Closest to this, the thing that I can't get to stay on. See? Now we're going to see how far I just messed that up. Over, down. See this? It goes to the right of the divider. That silver divider goes to the right. Okay? Now we're going to see if I mess this up. Did I cut this? I don't think I cut this. Give it a sharp point. Pull it and lay it to the back like the others. All righty. This is our test to see if I threaded it correctly. And always do a test. Always do a test when you thread your serger. Do not test it on your working garment. All right, here's the test. And it worked. Where did that came from? Oh, that got cut up in here. But here's the overlock stitch. Or this is the row hem because I didn't have the arm back in. Overlock stitch. It's a loose overlock stitch. I mean, it's a loose row hem. But nevertheless, it worked. Let me see if I have any questions. All right. Well, thank you all for joining. Thanks for the hearts. Follow me if you like this live and you want to get more sewing tips. I've been sewing since I was 18, self-taught. Actually, I started hand sewing when I was about 12 because I always wore my sister's pants. And we used to make our jeans or pants skinny legs. We used to sew the crotch and the legs skinny so we can wear them the next day to school. So if you want sewing tips and tricks, if you want details on how to tailor a garment precisely, follow me and I will make sure you get that information. In the meantime, if you have anything you want me to demonstrate, sew, just let me know in the comments or on my page. Pretty soon, I'm going to demonstrate how to sew a 2-piece and a 1-piece bathing suit. Until then, thanks for joining my live and have a great day.